Hi there and welcome to the Family Business Show. I'm John Broons and today we have a special guest, Sebi Conti from Ischia Restaurant here in Perth, and we're going to have a chat about his family business that he's created. I just want to thank Tech, the Executive Connection. They're sponsoring our show today and I appreciate their involvement with the show. So, welcome Sebi. Thanks for coming along.
Thank you, John. Thanks for inviting me.
Just for the people who don't know you, because there's a few people outside of Perth that do know you, those people back home in Italy, how did you come to Australia? How did you start off in the restaurant business? And tell us how you started Ischia.
Well, actually, I was born in Australia. I was born in Sydney. My family were here for about 5 years.
Okay.
In the 60s, because in those days, immigration was norm in Italy. And plus my family had uncles and relatives there in Sydney. So my father was first to come over, and then my mother followed 1 year later. They got married back there in Sydney, and up to 5 years they stayed there, and I was born 2 years prior to them going back to Italy.
I didn't know that. So you actually are Australian born, an Australian citizen, and you went back to Italy with your parents?
Yes, when I was 2 years old.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you lived there?
Oh, until I was about 17. Yes, those days was a little bit of a black sheep, as they call it.
Okay, you
I
were
was a bit wild. I wanted to see what I was, I was born, because once you, especially where I come from, because it's an island and it's very small, there's not much to do. Yeah, you're stuck on a little rock.
Okay.
So when you're young, you want to explore, you want to go out there and do things. So when there was an opportunity come up, then my grandmother came over back to Sydney, that she wanted to go and see her son, because I still have relatives there in Sydney. And so I came over with her when I was 16.
When you were 16. So you left Mum
Mum and Dad, yeah.
and Dad back home,
Yes,
came back to Sydney,
yes.
and you stayed.
Yeah, I said I was supposed to only stay for a little bit. I was thinking about a couple of years, but yes. Actually, the first thing my auntie said when I was there said, that's okay. Only the first years are bad. The first 10 years are bad. Then you get used to it.
Okay, so it was a challenge to stay in Sydney.
Yeah, it was not really a challenge. It was more like I had the freedom of big places, of big cities. Coming from a small rock to standing in.
Well, Sydney was a pretty good town to change, as a change. I understand that. So what did you do when you lived in Sydney?
Well, actually, first month I was a little bit, because I was getting used to the place. And then after, a friend of the family, he had a restaurant. If I remember those days, it was a Mascot. And he asked me if I wanted to work. So I started to work with him.
Started working early age in restaurants, getting to know the game.
Yeah. Oh, well, I already started working in restaurants, in bars, before work. Because in the summer, on an island, that's what you do. You have bars or restaurant, hotel.
Okay. So you've been in this tourist service industry.
Yes.
All your life?
Oh, yes.
Okay. In Sydney for a long time. I'm assuming a long time you worked for your...
I worked for that restaurant actually in particular for about almost 10 years, just short of 10 years.
Okay. And what did you do when you were in the restaurant? All the different jobs or?
Started from a kitchen hand.
Yep.
Because in those days I didn't even know how to speak English.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Washing dishes, yeah.
Washing dishes, peeled potato,
yeah.
All the kind of stuff you have to do. And then I moved on to be a waiter, and then I learned how to make pizzas. You move up. Then you become manager.
Okay. How long were you manager for?
A lot. But at least about 5-6 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
It
then
was a small place.
a small place.
Yeah.
But it's a good place to learn, something small.
Yes, of course. You always learn from the small place because it's not. How to say? Like in every job, the challenge is when you start up is to make sure that the people you work with they are good environment, good environment for you.
Mm.
There's no one that abuses you. There's no one that and then it becomes more better for you to work.
Okay, so the culture in the restaurant was nice. You were
Yes.
happy there, so you were happy to stay for 10 years. You were growing, you were learning.
Yes.
So when did you leave? So you left.
Well,
And-
sometimes you want to try something different, so you decide to do something new. And I went to other bigger restaurants.
So you still stayed in the restaurant trade?
Always.
Always? Okay.
Always.
And you enjoyed the restaurant, so you didn't want to leave the industry?
Well, you reach a point where you really don't know anything else. So you say, oh, I'll leave what I know already and to do something that can be something, of course, a challenge, but you always try to stay on the safe side of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I like is the connection here, because any young person that comes from a family business needs to learn how hard it is, or learn from the bottom up to see some of the intricacies that are involved in the business, the fine detail that you don't see if you start just walking in at a much higher level. So you've learned from the ground up.
I was lucky that I had a lot of good teachers, because the first thing they told me to be patient, and everything takes time. So you just gradually learn and learn and learn. I'm still learning now, so you always learn.
That's true.
So you don't stop. You just need to be patient for what comes next, and understand if it's a good thing for you, or even bad things are good for you.
Well, it's nice that you can see that.
Yeah.
Everybody learns the lesson.
Yes, of course.
And so long as it only comes once. If it comes twice, then it's not such a good lesson.
Yes, we must have not learned from the first time, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so how did you get to Perth?
That's another story. That's because when I come to Perth was because of my wife and the kids. There was a period of time that we were a young family, just finish off with our one restaurant, and I wanted to change. I wanted to have something different. So my wife suggested to come to Perth because she had a sister here, so for support. And so we moved over here to Perth. I came here to have a look around. I was the first one to come over to Perth. And I stayed with my sister, and I started to work actually at Roma restaurant. I don't know if you remember.
No, it's before my time.
It was the oldest restaurant here in Perth in Fremantle.
Okay.
And at the time when I went there, it was the two sisters used to run it. But I only worked there for a week, because it was a little bit different to what I've learned, in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And what they were using a different system. So I was not really sure if I could change to that, because for me it looked worse than the system that I knew.
Yep.
So I said, no, I think I better look for something else. So I went on, and then I started to work at the Sorrento restaurant in Northbridge.
Okay.
And then the manager, they employed me as a waiter. And after 1 year, I was the manager there.
And how long were you a manager at Sorrento?
For about 16 years.
A long time.
Yes.
Okay. How much did the business change when you were managing the business?
Oh my gosh. Well, to start, when I started there, those days was a competition everywhere. There was a lot of Italian restaurants in the area, and I remember that we used to send girls out on the street with the vouchers, 20% off, 20% off. Every restaurant used to do that, so to grab people in. So we would come up with the idea that from 5 to 6 o'clock, we would do one meal. You buy one meal, you get one free until 6 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock, and then we will shut the door.
Yep.
So we fill up first.
Yeah.
We were the first restaurant to get everybody from the street,
Yeah.
And then from 6 o'clock, because people sometimes, unfortunately, they just like they follow.
They follow, yeah.
So they saw that we were busy and no one else was busy. They just come and keep on coming in.
Okay. So you had innovation to
Right.
make sure that you had the business and that the restaurant was full.
Yes.
Okay. So you now have Ischia. How did you transition from Sorrento to Ischia?
In 2016, I had an accident. I had a scooter accident. I broke my shoulder.
Yeah.
So I was out of work for a bit of time. And during that period, I understood that actually it was time for me to get my own business. Start to make money for myself and not for everybody else.
Okay. So the apprenticeship lasted for how long? 30 years?
You could say that.
Okay.
I must say because I have an older brother. I have another brother in Italy, and when I was back in Sydney, he came over. He's a chef,
Okay.
and he actually always wanted to open a restaurant there in Sydney.
Yes.
But I always turned him down because I thought I was not ready.
Yes.
I always thought I said no, not ready. We're not ready. But that was another story. There were other times.
Okay. So he went back to Italy.
Yeah, he went back to Italy.
Okay. And Ischia became an opportunity.
Yes, and when I saw that, actually I found out that I was looking for some places anyway, just something small to go and start it up. But then opportunity came to Siena that I found out the Siena was for sale. And I had been there at that restaurant before to have dinner. You know, I've seen things that I liked, and I've seen things that I didn't like. I said to myself, I always said, I can make this place run properly.
Okay.
That's why, you always had it.
Yeah, it's nice to have the confidence that you can make it run properly. So you could see opportunity there.
Yes. So, sometimes you go to the extreme to make sure that you do, because I actually, when I started ISCA, I didn't have enough money to do the business, but you do whatever you have to.
100%. You do whatever you have to when you have the dream.
That's right.
And you can see something that you're working towards.
Yeah.
So you bought Ischia,
Yes.
but you have a brother.
Yes, my brother came into place afterwards.
This is another brother, though.
Younger brother.
How many family are there? Brothers,
we have
sisters?
3 brothers and a sister.
Okay. So the chef brother, he's still in Italy.
Yes.
The sister, she's in Italy.
Yes.
And the other brother works with you in Ischia.
That's right.
Okay. How does that work?
He didn't come in straight away. He came in after just over 6 months because he had to finish off. When I left Sorrento, my brother became the manager there at Sorrento.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So
it was family going in to replace you.
Yes.
Okay.
And so he had to make sure that he lived there properly.
Yes.
So that's why he came out afterward. But there was always a plan for it. Well, the integration was easy, not hard, because we always worked together. At Sorrento, we worked for many years together. I was the general manager, but he was the floor manager, and we always worked together. We always made sure that everything would run smooth.
Okay. Do you think you could work the same with your other brother and your sister?
My other brother, probably. He's a chef, and I know he can probably run the kitchen. He's done it. But those are challenges.
Those are challenges. Okay. Well, we'll come to challenges in a minute. Okay. So now Ischia is established 2016.
Yes.
You have your...
Actually, 2017.
2017.
Yeah, it took me a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then your brother comes on board.
Yes.
And the restaurant is now doing well.
Yes.
You're happy?
Oh, yes, very happy.
Okay.
Yeah, very happy.
And this is working for you. You have yourself and your brother.
Yes.
So what are some of the challenges that you're seeing? Now we'll talk challenges. What are some of the challenges that you're seeing?
Between me and my brother?
Is there challenges between you and your brother?
No. This brother, no. Because we complement each other.
Lovely.
Because that's how I see it. It's to see the strong points of each other.
Yes.
And each one to take care of that, because we know that we can do it.
Okay.
Say, okay, I'll let Danny do that because I know he can do that well. Or I'll let Sebi do that, because I know Sebi can do that well.
Okay.
Understand each other about what the strong point and weak points. So to be there when a weak moment comes, and let it happen when the strong points comes.
Okay. The two of you, do you have conversations about the business always at work, or do you have them outside of work? What happens outside of work?
Outside work, well, that's another challenge, because unfortunately we don't really have a lot of time outside the work, because when I'm here, he's not there. When he's there, I'm not. I mean, it's
Okay.
one hard part of it.
Okay.
So actually, outside of work, there is not really the connection that we once had, because we actually used to live together in the same house. But now, because he's got a girlfriend,
So now it's a little bit more difficult. That's one of the challenges, is the communication.
Yes.
Okay.
But when we are in a restaurant, we talk about anything and everything.
Okay.
It's important to make sure that you discuss everything.
Understanding that, how do you have meetings about the planning for what you're going to do in 6 months, 12 months? Are they also in the restaurant?
Sorry. Yeah, of course. In the restaurant, in the office, because we have an office.
Mm-hmm.
And so we discuss about what the future planning what we think about it, which way to expand or to improve, and try to put things in place and follow it through.
Okay. So the planning, who does the planning? Is it yourself or your brother, or the two of you together make the plans?
The two of us. It's
Okay.
always better, because you can see it's like you have a broader view. If you understand that someone idea and the other, so that when you put them together and say, okay, this is better. So it's not just one channel. It's like, instead of being mono, we got in stereo.
Okay. Many heads.
Yes.
Okay, greater conversation.
Yeah.
Do you have agreement? Is everything 50-50?
Yes. And not at the moment. At the moment, it's more on words.
Mm-hmm.
But yet we are working towards it to make everything, and for the future as well, for our kids, because now actually my son comes into play as well.
Uh-huh.
So we have to make sure that everything is fair for everybody.
Okay.
That's important.
So where does your son work?
He's on the floor at the moment.
Okay. Has he done the potatoes and the dishes?
No, actually, no. I wish he did. Because he would teach him different other stuff. But I had a bit of experience when he went to Italy, because he worked for Conti company. So I think he learned a little bit there.
Contiki is it's a good place to learn.
That's right. So
yeah.
he did a bit of...
he did some work there.
Yes.
So he's come back, he's on the floor now,
Mm-hmm.
and he's happy?
Yes, he's happy, and I can see that he wants to more, and he wants to learn the trade. He wants to learn about everything we do. As a matter of fact, we had a conversation the other day, talk about the future, and he would like to get more involved. And because he has a background as a carpenter, he studied as a carpenter.
Mm-hmm.
So I told him that he actually can start to take care of the repairs and maintenance of the restaurants and stuff. So he can...
Okay.
Yeah.
So an opportunity for a business inside the business.
That's right, yes.
Okay. All right. And your daughter, is she going to come into the business?
Not for the moment, because, she just had a baby. Yeah, she has a 5-year-old daughter.
Okay.
5-month-old. So,
okay.
Yeah, I've been known for 5 months now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So when you look at the family now,
Mm-hmm.
you have your brother here, close at hand.
Yes.
Mum and dad are in Italy with your other sister and brother.
Mm-hmm.
How much do they... is it a challenge having communication between Italy and Australia?
Challenges are always there, but technology now comes to play. So it's nice to have, like we have family chats.
Mm-hmm.
We have WhatsApp, FaceTimes. My mother loves FaceTime.
Okay.
She loves to ring whenever she's with a friend or something. She says, "Oh, you want to see my daughter? I want to see my son." Yeah, she always rings in worst times. But anyway.
So family communication is really good.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. From the point of view of challenges, where do you see the challenges coming now? Is the challenges making the business bigger, making the business even for you and for your brother? What do you think are the challenges that you're going to have?
For the restaurant, the business, what we see, already talked about it, is expansion and how to do it properly. Because I'm trying to have a bit more time for ourselves.
Okay.
Because we have invested a lot of time into the restaurant to make sure that it runs properly. It does, but it's very hard to find other people to do the same job that you do.
So the staff that you have now, are they long staff? You've had them from the beginning, or you find there's a bit of turnover?
I actually have one chef that he followed me since Sydney.
So he's been with you a long time?
Yeah, it's a long time. We worked together in a restaurant back in Kingsford in Sydney, and from there, then he followed me to another restaurant in Sydney itself, and then I decided to move to Perth. And a couple of years later, he moved all his family to as well.
Wow. So you've got long-time staff?
Long time, very long time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the staff really like where they work, and you like working with them, so it's a good match?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you say it's hard to find staff,
Well,
it's to replace yourself and your brother?
That's right. Well, not myself, my brother. They see, they have the same vision. How you say, growing up on the island in Ischia, it's because it's a tourist island. You grow to serve, you're accustomed to customers. They are your priority.
Mm-hmm.
We
Customer service?
Customers, but we noticed here, especially in Sydney, here back in Perth, that there is a difference between the locals, how they grow up to understand customer service, and us.
The way you see customer service?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. There is a difference. As you can see, they have limitation when we don't have limitation.
Okay.
We know that we can go very high in customer service.
Yep.
But locals say, no, that's...
So this is the operational things that you would do.
Yes.
This is how you would make it improvements,
Yes.
little improvements
Yes.
all the time. Okay. So where do you see things in the future? How do you see the business growing and changing?
At the moment, we are thinking about expansion. We just need to expand properly, because what happens is once you split the team, it becomes a bit harder. So you have to try to make sure that when you split it, you get the new person that come in, and they're up to the challenge to learn and to understand how to do it properly. So because you're going to send some of your best workers to the other place.
Yeah.
So you got only half team here.
Yeah.
So we already starting to invest, because we know it's going to cost more extra money to make sure we have extra people on board.
Yeah. Okay. So the planning is happening now.
Yes, it does.
Okay. From a strategy point of view, I can hear the plan is to grow.
Yes.
Okay. And you've got a good culture, so you want to continue the culture. The family is strong, and the family communicates well. So the planning of how to keep this all controlled
Yes.
sounds like is the biggest challenge.
Yes, it is, because it takes time to go up there, but it takes very little to go down again.
So you're protecting. That's very good.
But
I suppose in the future, in 10, 15 years' time, do you want your daughter to be in the business as well?
we'll see. I'm not sure, because my ex-wife actually she has a business herself.
Okay.
So they have a farm.
Yes.
They grow sheep and stuff, and she's more towards that kind of.
Okay, she likes farming.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who knows? Maybe in the future, maybe depends on what way she will go.
Well, it's still a family business by
Of
the
course.
sounds of it.
Oh yes, yes.
And if it's farming with sheep and she likes animals, then there's an opportunity for her.
Yeah. to maybe give us fresh produce.
Ah, look at that. The wonderful connection.
Yes.
No, great. Okay. I'm thinking you have a lovely picture.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had a real problem anywhere, a big hiccup, or everything's been, okay, there's been ups and downs, but you can handle everything? Is there a point in time that would say made a big change for you?
I must have said, but the big change has been my accident.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that really made me change that this is time, because getting old, it's time to do something for the family and for the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old were you when you had the accident?
I was 49.
49, and you broke the shoulder.
Yes.
The collarbone or the shoulder, or?
I was so lucky because actually I hit the car head on, and then me and my partner we flew over the car.
Wow.
Me and my friend, and I only actually broke part of my shoulder, but it's only scared, so it was easy to heal.
Yes.
Actually, didn't any joint or nothing was broken,
Okay.
so it was only actually right on the bone.
Yep.
But my friend, he had the 13 vertebrae squashed.
Oh, the vertebrae.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's
It's a different exercise.
yeah, very different.
So you realise then,
Yeah. So
I need to make some changes.
yes,
So do you ride a motorbike anymore?
I still do because I mean it was an accident.
Yeah.
So accident can happen any time.
Yep.
You just have to make sure that you are prepared for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you planned for the fact what happens if you have an accident?
Yeah, well, you have to make sure that everything is in place. So we're always planning. You're always planning.
Always planning. I love it.
Always
I love
planning.
it. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we'll leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
I want to thank you very much for coming and talking with me,
Yeah.
taking the time, because I know the restaurant demands a lot of your time.
Oh, yes.
So I really do appreciate it. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay. So thank you very much for watching my special guest, Sebi Conti from Ischia Restaurant here in Perth. I want to thank Tech again for sponsoring us today. If you want to communicate with me, send me an email. john@johnbroons.com is my email address. Please subscribe to the channel. And if you've got questions, I'm happy to answer any questions that you'd like to send anytime. Thanks very much. Have a good day.